What's up, guys? CEO of One back at it again. We got a fun one here today. We're taking a look at all of this brickwork, guys. And this video, we want to talk a little bit about equipment. Equipment makes the world so much easier, guys. We started out with 2-gallon machines from Home Depot, like so many of you, but this is how we pre-treat our large concrete, whether it be driveways, sidewalks, brick, whatever the case is, even sometimes a long way away from where our trailer's parked. This blue hose is 200 feet. We're stretched out up here right now and pre-treating all of this brickwork we're going to be doing. We'll post-treat with this as well. We're using a 2% sodium hypochlorite right here to kill all the green stuff, and we're just kind of working our way around the back of this property. Now, beforehand, if we wanted to pre-treat this much surface work, it would mean either, God forbid, 1-gallon pump-up sprayers or 4-gallon backpack sprayers. However, we did bump up to a 16-gallon and then later a 26-gallon tank that we can batch mix a 2% if we need, and then use our 12-volt soft wash pump and a 200-foot long hose to pump it out of there and pre-treat. So it is possible to do it on a budget using that 26-gallon or a 60-gallon tank and a 5 to 7-gallon 12-volt diaphragm pump, whether it be Rimco, Northern Tool, lots of brands make them. That would also work to treat this much concrete, or brick in this case, I should say, and make it a lot easier. Fortunately, since then we've built our trailer and we're using our soft wash system here on the trailer with our long blue hose so that I don't have to worry about batch mixing 200 gallons of 2% to coat all the brick. It makes it a lot easier to do it this way, but this is the importance of equipment, guys. No matter where you start out in this game, if you start investing in better equipment each time, it will make your job easier. Not necessarily, hey, I got to get a brand new pressure washer again, but hose reels, anything like that that makes your day easier to make the money. Because when you're out there and you're making a good, this is $1,000 day per man, but when you're out there and you're making good money like this, guys, the equipment is going to make your job either be a nightmare or a pleasant day at work. It just is a huge, huge different situation there based on your equipment. So I know the next question is, when should you invest in a new machine? That's a great question. We're going to talk about it a little bit here. If you have a 2.5 gallon a minute machine you got from Home Depot, pressure washer you're using, and you're using the pressure off of someone's house or spigot with a hose, it's time to probably, when you can, get up to at least a 4-gallon machine. It's going to make such a tremendous difference with your surface cleaner. With a smaller machine, you can only use about a 14-inch surface cleaner, which, will get work done, but not on the scale that you want. It's better to use a 20-inch, at least 20-inch surface cleaner can be ran from a 4-gallon machine. We do it with a BE and a Simpson 4-gallon 4,200 PSI, not that that matters. Pressure washer, and it works fantastic. I highly recommend at least get to where you can get to a 4-gallon machine. If you're doing driveways, house washes, you can still downstream with a 4-gallon machine. Although me personally, if I'm washing a lot of houses, I prefer to be at a 5.5 gallon machine for house washes. It's perfect. You can downstream that 1.5% sodium hypochlorite, run everything directly off the trailer or off a skid in the back of a truck. It's just a really money spot to be in, and you can still do driveways with a 5.5 gallon machine and a 20-inch BE surface cleaner. That works fine. We do it all day long. We are adding a 10-gallon machine soon, but that's just so we can run 2 surface cleaners at the same time and really rip through some concrete. Again, the more we invest back into doing it, the more we can get these $4,000 or $5,000 jobs and get it done in a day instead of 4 days. Makes a tremendous difference. Equipment. Invest in yourself. Learn more about what you're doing, guys. I can't stress that enough. When I tell you to invest in equipment, you also have to invest in the knowledge base. And I'm guessing that's why you're here on my channel now, so we can talk about these things and really go over it again and again and again so it will help you avoid costly mistakes in the field. You definitely don't want to go out there and go broke, buying equipment right away. This is not going to be good for anyone. It's not going to help your business any. The most important thing you should be doing is getting customers. More leads, more customers, more phone calls, get in front of more customers. That is the most important thing to be in business. Pressure washing is a great business, but if you don't go out and get in front of customers, if you invest $30,000 in a rig and you don't have lead flow, you don't have calls coming in, you're going to be broke. You're not going to go door to door dragging a $30,000 rig in your machine, burning up gas, hoping to get a job. That's going to be a long, hard day that nobody wants to do. Get customers. Find ways to get customers. Invest a little bit in ad flow, lead flow somewhere. Do your research on there. But it's going to come down to your equipment will make you or break you in this business. And you might be able to survive on a 2-gallon machine for a while. But after a year, that gets tiring. And there's no reason you can't work your way up from a 2-gallon machine in a year. We did it. Go back and look on my channel. My first video on this channel was a year ago from when I'm making this video today. We were with a 2.5-gallon machines from Home Depot, Lowe's, that type of thing. And we started out doing some driveways with little 14-inch surface cleaners that attached to a wand. They weren't even a real professional surface cleaner. We used pump-up sprayers to pre-treat and post-treat like I'm doing here, although I'm using the Softwash system and an M5 twist to apply my sodium hypochlorite to the brick here that we're going to be cleaning. But we started out small just like anybody else, and we did it a year ago. And if you can start small and work your way up to build a trailer or a skid and do that in a way where business is still flowing in, the business can always afford you the equipment cost. It may not always float you the first year and keep you alive, so it's good to have other employment or other money coming in, but if you invest over a year, you should be able to get to where you're at least to a 4-gallon machine. A nice BE 20-inch surface cleaner will work great. 200 feet of hose is what I recommend. I don't recommend necessarily more than that. Some people say I'd rather have 100 feet of hose, whatever. You're going to be moving your machine. I'd rather move an extra 100 feet of hose and lose 5 pounds of pressure than move my machine around, me personally. But everybody does it differently. Your equipment's going to make you guys in this business. Make sure you invest wisely. Don't overkill it. You don't need a 12-gallon machine to start out with. You don't need an 8-gallon machine to start out with. Although, if you have an 8-gallon machine, you will be able to do almost anything in this business. That's a little overkill for a house wash. You're not going to be able to do a roof treatment with that because you're going to need a soft wash system, but that's, $200 pump if you're, know where to get the right size one. And a separate tank that you can either batch mix in or a blend manifold system so you can mix it at 6% for roof treatments. 5% if it's not that bad. 6 will get the job done quick and you can keep moving. Guys, equipment. Invest in yourself.